Come heavy or don't come at all. You leave your piece at home, that's your call. It never paid to be merciful. Come heavy or don't come at all.
Welcome inside the Sandman Center in Kamloops, BC, and a very important game on tap here today. The Peterborough Petes needing a win, otherwise their tournament will be over. We already know that we'll be seeing the Quebec Remparts Sunday in the final, but they're looking to round up this round robin with a perfect 3-0 record. And once again, thanks and welcome to our coverage of the 103rd Memorial Cup presented by Kia. I'm your host, Laura Dyken. We've got Cheryl Pounder. We've got Craig Button. And yes, a do-or-die situation for the Peterborough Petes, who are looking to avoid becoming the first OHL team since the Guelph Storm in 2004 to go 0-3 and be eliminated here in the round robin. As we take a look at the schedule, we're in the back half of the round robin now. Every team has one game left to play. Again, the round robin wraps up tomorrow. If the Petes can force a tiebreaker, that would go Thursday with the semifinal the following day. Well, it's time now for the road to the Memorial Cup presented by Kia, the official automotive partner of the Canadian Hockey League. Kia, movement that inspires. It's all on the line for the Petes tonight after losing their first two games to the Thunderbirds and the Blazers. The OHL champs need a win against the Remparts to force a tiebreak game on Thursday. And as for those Remparts, oh, they are sitting pretty. Last night's 3-1 win over Seattle secured their spot in the Memorial Cup final on Sunday. So one spot in Sunday's final has already been accounted for, as the Remparts looking to become the fourth straight team from the Q to hoist the Memorial Cup. Again, the Petes need this one to force a tiebreaker and keep their hopes of making the semifinal alive. So we know what's on the line here today. It's a must-win for the Peterborough Petes. The Quebec Remparts looking to go 3-0 in the round robin. So who are going to be some of our difference makers here today?
Well, Brendan Othman has to be a difference maker, and I don't have any doubt he will be a difference maker. When you look at the history of Brendan Othman, he played in the Canada Games. He played at the OHL Cup. Back-to-back gold medals with Team Canada at the World Junior Tournament. And he's been a significant factor for the teams he's played on. He's not going to shy away from the pressure of knowing that his team has to win and he has to deliver, because it's not just about can he deliver. He knows that he will deliver, and he knows that he will be looked upon to deliver in this must-win game for the Peterborough Petes.
And you know that he'll get to the dirty areas as well. He's one of those players that can get to the tough areas of the ice. And on the other side, I'm going to look at Mikhail Houchette. You know, Savoie is out of the game tonight, and he was a huge key element to scoring that first goal with Rochette. But look at this takeaway through the neutral zone by Houchette is going to elevate to that top line with Bolduc and Rochette. So there will be a lot of pressure on this guy to deliver. We spoke to Patrick Waugh earlier about him. He only played 15 games this season, but I thought that he was tracking back with a purpose. He was showing some good puck protection skills, and he was huge on that game-winning goal with that beautiful play to Rochette.
It's almost time for puck drop. The teams are making their way out onto the ice. We've got the carpet ready for our little singing of O Canada. We are oh so close. Not long to go now until the OHL champs, the Peterborough Petes, go toe-to-toe with the Kings of the Q, the Remparts. It's day 5 at the 2023 Memorial Cup from Kamloops. Big game for the Peterborough Petes, looking to put that loss to the Kamloops Blazers in the rearview mirror on Sunday. As for the Remparts, this is their last tune-up game. They'll get 4 days off after this to prepare for Sunday's championship final. So that does it for us in the pregame show. It means it's time to turn it over now to Kevin Sawyer and Victor Finley.
Yes, thank you, Laura. Kevin, two very different mindsets, you would think, for both these teams coming into this game today. Quebec to put up their feet a little bit, win or lose, doesn't matter. They're in the final on Sunday, but Peterborough, they are playing for their season tonight.
Now, do you think Quebec will put their feet up? I don't for a second. Like, there's a lot of pride with this group. Patrick Waugh says we're not here to visit.
we're here to win. So if anything, they want to make sure they carry good habits into the final on Sunday, which they're automatically in. For Peterborough, it's do or die, so the desperation will be at an all-time high. They haven't shown their best or even close to it yet. I'm really curious to see how these two opposing mindsets with teams that have very different things at stake, different things on the line, are going to clash here tonight.
This has been an uphill battle. It's felt like all playoff long for the Peterborough Petes. Hasn't seemed to matter, Kevin. They've always found a way to win.
It's part of who they are and how they got here. They've done nothing the easy way. That adversity they're hoping is going to lead to good things here tonight. They're battle tested. We'll see if that gets them where they want to go.
Okay, before puck drop, we'll send it to ice level for the playing Canadian National Anthem.
And now would you please rise, remove your hats, and join in the singing of O Canada with our guest, McKenna Sutherland.
Veuillez vous lever, retirez vos chapeaux et casquettes et rejoignez à McKenna Sutherland pour l'interprétation de l'hymne national.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. Car ton bras s'est porté le paix, il s'est porté la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Penultimate game of the round-robin stage in the 2023 Memorial Cup presented by Kia. She's the Peterborough Petes fighting for their lives tonight, needing a win over the undefeated Quebec Remparts. Time now for the starting goaltenders, presented by Cavendish Farms, the official French fry of the Canadian Hockey League. For the Peterborough Petes, they drafted Michael Simpson 193rd overall in the 10th round of the 2019 OHL priority selection. He was the 8th last goaltender picked in that draft. Tonight, he will try and keep their season alive after a brilliant season that saw him as postseason MVP. And there is William Rousseau talking about brilliant seasons. He had a brilliant performance last night against Seattle, 35 saves. That was just the 4th time all season long he's been forced to make 35 or more saves in a single game. Rob Wilson, coming off a demoralizing 10-2 loss at the hands of Kamloops, said he forgot all about it, threw away the game tape, let the fellas relax and try and reset for this big game tonight against Quebec. And Patrick Waugh says his team is playing for pride, trying to go undefeated in the round robin en route to a Memorial Cup final on Sunday. All set at the Sandman Center. This will be the last game of the round-robin stage for both these teams. Should Peterborough win, they'll play again Thursday. That would be the tie-break, and they would take on the loser of Seattle and Kamloops. That'll be the final game of the round-robin that goes tomorrow. Quebec start off with possession off the face-off, as they're coming off a 3-1 victory over the Seattle Thunderbirds that saw a good chunk of that game, about 57 minutes of it, completely goalless after an early strike from Theo Rochette. Rochette would go on to score 2 in that game, including the game winner. As the Petes come to center with Samuel Maillet. Right in on William Rousseau. On the end boards, Nico Savoie. Up the wing. And to the point, Maillet. Maillet shoots. That one glances off of Gaudette. And Gaucher on the far side boards, plays it out to center. Petes are completing a change as Connor Smith will play it from behind his own net. Picked off at center by Sevilla. Komarov and Connor Smith, the big 6'5" defender, took a run at him as Peterborough come back through center with Jonathan Malee.
That's a lot of meat in that collision, isn't it? Two big men really hit.
No kidding. Wow. Komarov 6'3", 188 in his own right. As Brennan Hoffman from the corner. Now Owen Beck. Tried to center. Hoffman was there. The puck never got to him, though. As it's settled down by Noss. Plays it ahead to center. Mikkel Hushek jumping up to play with Bolduc and Rochette. That's because Charles Savoie is out of commission tonight, as is Thomas Darcy. There were some questions as to whether Patrick Waugh would decide to rest some of his top players. For the most part, he's opted not to do that. The only reason Charles Savoie is out tonight is because he was a little banged up in the last game, as was Thomas Darcy. Apart from those two, it is a regular lineup.
It's almost too much rest if he does that, right? Because they have 4 days off after this game, so you want to make sure you keep everybody game tested as well.
Andrew Guion and Matthew Wenner are both in for their first game of the Memorial Cup tonight, as it's playing off the end boards. Justin Robidas attempted to center. Daniel Agostino out there with Robidas and James Malatesta. Here's Tucker Robertson toward the corner, looks to play it back. Jonathan Malee to the net, and setting the 5-hole was Rousseau, as Lockhart was looking for perhaps a tip there.
I think he got a piece of that too. That was a tough save for Rousseau.
Malatesta off the boards, down the ice, and Simpson moves it aside. It's quickly set to center, tipped in by Malee. And now Wenner gets his first shift of the night. Ahead for Guion, who's out there for the first time too. On a line here with Elliot Lavoie and Davis Cooper. Good body check down low from Lockhart as the puck comes back to the point. Here's Maillet. Drifts it wide. Gavin White. Sent that one off the body. Stiff hit from Samuel Maillet on Cooper as the puck drifts back to Gavin White, quickly to center and ramped in by Lockhart.
Yeah, to me, there's going to be a different cadence to this game than you would see in most games, where the mindset and the big part of the DNA from both of these teams is to lay back, be patient, defense first mindset. It'll be interesting to see who makes the first push.
Wenner absorbs a bump from Stillman as it goes down the wing to center. Waugh in front of the Pete's bench. Nathan Gaucher off to Kassim Gaudet. Gaudet shoots that snag by Simpson for the whistle. Kevin, time now for the Bet Rivers tips to win.
Yeah, I think for Peterborough, you just have to find early confidence in this game. Feel good about something after a beatdown. It was 10-2 against Kamloops. They knew they were out of it before the halfway point. So on the body, move the puck crisply. If they can get the first goal, that would be excellent, needless to say. And for Quebec and Patrick Waugh, a lot of things went well for them in their last game. They played to their identity. I think the one area is probably zone excellence. He talked about that with Cheryl and Craig today. Getting out of the zone as a connected group of 5, and they'll be working on all those little details.
Off the wing. Oh, how's that for a glove save from Mathis Rousseau as he snags out one from Avery Hayes. And a bit of a conversation between the two as Hayes circled the net. Of course, Avery Hayes has been in this position before with the Hamilton Bulldogs a year ago. Started the tournament 0-2. Needed to win against the Oil Kings, and they did just that. As this is stopped by Rousseau off the blocker and catches a piece of the protective netting out of play.
Let's look back to one of the strengths of the Peterborough Petes. They've got 3 centermen that are excellent in faceoffs. They have not been excellent in this tournament so far, but you can see why. The dividends right away. You win a clean faceoff. Robertson does that, and a shot right away from spearing the captain.
Last game, Quebec got rinsed pretty good on faceoffs by Seattle. It was a big night in the face-off dot for Jared Davidson as this puck is lifted over the glass and out of play. So go ahead, Kevin.
Sorry, Victor. You talked about Avery Hayes and how he's been here before, right? This was a game where they had to win to force their lives, to keep their lives alive. Last year in St. John, it was against the Edmonton Oil Kings. They won this game 4-2. Avery Hayes with the goal there. So this has been there, done that under pressure, and he was a guy that performed when they needed him to. They'll look for more of that today.
Shot rifled over top of the net. Bouchette back to center, cut off by Zanetti. Komarov passes over to Noss. Bolduc dropping it back. Now Evan Noss turns away from the pressure, off to Komarov. And Noss up to Huchette. From center, Bolduc. Taken down as McCoy strips it away. Rochette kicks it back. Charles Truchon.
And look at the lack of pressure, Vic. They're not going to force their hand. They do not want to let Quebec get in behind them. This is a big part of how Peterborough plays.
It's worked for them all postseason long, as that shot was juggled a bit by Simpson, but it is corralled by Connor Smith. They got their first big-time test with the Ottawa 67s in the second round. A lot of their defense was bend but never break that got them through it. Jax Dubois tips us in, an Ottawa, Ontario native. Back in for Truchon behind his net. Connor Lockhart, another Ottawa area kid. Applying pressure for the Petes as up comes Malatesta. And on the left side, passes across. Robida, good stick from Maye, gets in the way. Brennan Othman to the line. Agostino back to Savoie at center and tipped in off the glass by Justin Robida. Here's Cam Gauvreau. Back plays it back around for Maye. Blasting out. Stillman. Trying to move around Nico Savoie.
How about that body position from Savoie right there? Just cancels his man with looking at the chest. The old fundamentals back in Pee Wee House hockey. You learned that at a young age. Nice job.
Happy birthday, by the way, to Nico Savoie. 21 years old today, overage defenseman for the Remparts. Patrick Waugh was very complimentary of him in our conversation earlier today. J.R. Avon skates to center down the left side. And now Truchon. Olivier Waugh passes back to Evan Noss. And now Noss starts ahead and passes up on the left side for Gaucher. And it goes to Simpson. Stretch pass from Gavin White, missed the mark, no icing though. Rousseau shoots it off the boards and around it comes. Tucker Robertson tied up with Truchon. Tucker Robertson guides it over to Jonathan Malee. Malee skating in, past the cross. No one was there for the Petes. Zanetti ranging in from the line. Here's Evan Noss. And the Petes will hang back again.
It's a 1-1-3 in the neutral zone, and we're going to see this all night long, I would imagine, from Peterborough. We've seen it before, and they're not going to abandon their structure regardless of being faced to elimination. It's going to be a patient game for them.
Here's Bolduc into the slot. Rochette take the shot, opted to pass off to Komarov, back to Rochette, stripped to the puck, and the Petes scramble out through center. Stillman and Malee on the forecheck. Good hit from Stillman. The puck comes around the boards. Chipped out. And Jax Dubois turns around. Smith. Malee and in for Nico Savoie. Sevlin Komarov. Agostino. Komarov is dumped, and he's in some pain here along the near side boards. As the puck comes right to him. Can't do much with it, though.
Well, he was involved in that earlier hit, that big hit. And he's a big man. Doesn't usually take long for him to get up off the ice. Keep an eye on that.
Keeled right over at the bench. He will take a seat. That's perhaps a good sign for Quebec. He was banged up in the playoffs, too, a little bit against the Mooseheads, but did stay in that series. So Sevlin Komarov banged up a little bit here on the far side boards by Connor Smith. Top Prospect Scary Report is brought to you by Kubota, the official tractor and compact equipment partner of the Canadian Hockey League. And as always, we'll check in with our TSN Director of Scouting, Craig Button.
And we're focusing in on Brennan Othman. I mean, it's real simple. You want to score and be rewarded. You got to get to the guts of the action. He's got great eye-hand coordination. And when you get rewarded, you have to be willing to pay the price. And that's exactly what Brennan Othman does. That's your Kubota Scouting Report.
Brennan Othman, more often than not, finds himself right in the mix of things, Kevin, whether it's scoring goals, getting involved with the physicality, agitating his opponents.
Points in 19 of 23 in the playoffs, right? And sometimes the personality of a player comes out in the game of that player, right? He's got a lot of confidence and some swagger in his personality. I think it comes out in his play as well.
Here's Nico Savoy lifting it ahead for Daniel Agostino. Stripped away by Maye. Agostino caught up in the net a little bit as it does stay on the moorings. And it's ripped in by Avery Hayes. Agostino keeps it moving. Swatted at by White. Back to center. And Hayes skates in. J.R. Avon on the far side was in offside.
Well, staying above the option is a big part of the Pete's identity, but so is physicality. There's been a lot of that. Smith on Komarov once early in the game, and we've seen a continuation of that on the body, punish and invest throughout the course of the game. That big hit from Smith on Komarov. There was a second one there. That last one is one that sent the big man off. Looks like he's going to be okay. I think I still see him on the bench there, but we'll keep you posted. Been a physical start.
Peterborough shooting in from center. Gavin White lays it around. And Dubois back out to the neutral zone now for Pierre-Olivier Waugh. Skating it in. Got at the shot. Kicked out by Simpson. He makes a couple saves as it's sent back in front. And Page lays it ahead. Connor Lockhart in possession of it now. Through center. Fires a shot. And to the corner boards it goes. Who shot? Noss. Evan Noss starts ahead. And off the corner board, Simpson. Off to Zanetti. Hoffman. Back to Gauvreau and ramped in by Chase Stillman. To the slot, Hoffman shot. That's blocked by Bolduc. Hoffman turning around and absorbed by William Rousseau.
Yeah, one of the most dangerous, if not the most dangerous shot for Quebec. One mistake, watch the defenseman. He's so far away from the shooter. Dangerous shot. It'll be a game of mistakes and who makes the least.
Well, as you've probably heard, the Quebec Remparts won the Memorial Cup back in 2006 in Moncton. But 2006 was also the last time that the Peterborough Petes won the OHL and went to that same tournament in Moncton. Quebec and Peterborough opened the tournament against one another. Peterborough won 3-2. They'll need a similar result tonight, Victor, to stay alive.
That they will, Julia. And Quebec, having appeared in this tournament in 06 and then 2015 and now this year in 23, they have not beaten an OHL team in those previous two tournaments. They, of course, lost to Peterborough there to open things up in 06. Then they lost to the Oshawa Generals in overtime. Steven DeRoche had the winner back in 2015. And trying to beat the Peterborough Petes tonight. So Quebec did drop that first game in 06. They went on to win the next two. Just like this year, they guaranteed themselves a spot in that Memorial Cup final where they went on to beat the Moncton Wildcats. And the host team that year is, here's Truchon. Shoots it in off the glass. Owen Beck passes off to Smith for Othman. And connects with Beck. There's Beck to the outside. Tried to center. A good stick for Truchon. Theo Rochette. Tries to play it ahead. Othman goes down as he'll pass it back to McCoy. And Rochette's hurt in front of the Pete's bench. Plays whistled down with Rochette keeled over.
Well, needless to say, every team wants to avoid this, but you got to wonder about the mindset for Quebec, right? You want to get through this game and you want to make sure you keep good habits. Of course, you want to make sure that you stay healthy as well. Rochette taking contact there. That last one from Stillman as he grabs his head, goes down. I think he's going to be okay. 2 goals in Seattle. He's got 3 goals in the tournament.
Had 4 all postseason in the QMJHL. Getting on at the right time. Komarov is on the ice. He was for that last shift as well, so it's good to see he's apparently in fine order, or at least good enough here to play for the Remparts. As he's got possession now behind his netminder Rousseau. Missed Malatesta with the pass though. And the Pete shoot it in off the glass. Jeremy Langlois on the boards for J.R. Avon. Picked off by Malatesta, and he'll start sprinting ahead. With Agostino tried to field the pass one-handed. As Maye back in the neutral zone, looks to shovel it in. Jeremy Langlois passing ahead to Malatesta for Robida off his skate. Robida shielding the puck away from Avon. Taken by Zanetti, feeds it back for Gauvreau. Now Tucker Robertson chipping right past the defender Wenner.
Real good connected breakout.
Good pass to Hayes as he tried to drag it out in front. And now here's Charles Truchon. He'll turn away as the Remparts are changing. Truchon to center. Tipped in by Davis Cooper. But there was Guyon and Lavoie again. Be interesting to see if this unit sees a little more ice time than they otherwise would in a game that doesn't mean really a whole lot for the Remparts in the grander scheme of this tournament.
Geez, I sure think that they will. Don't you? A 4-line game makes a lot of sense for Patrick Waugh's team tonight.
Here's Guyon. Hasn't played since late March. Did not dress for a single postseason game for Quebec, and now he's in for their 3rd game this year's Memorial Cup. Cam Gauvreau off the boards ahead to Lockhart. Lockhart zips it over just past Jonathan Malee. And back it comes for Gaucher, and he's held up down to the ice. Never got the shot away, but he will draw a penalty, or perhaps not. It will be against Nathan Gaucher. As Quebec touch it up, and Nathan Gaucher will go to the box.
Well, I'm with you, buddy. I wasn't sure. I thought for sure that Gaucher on the attack was the one that drew the penalty. He had puck possession. And in fact, he's the one going to the penalty box. So that's an easy mistake to make. And here he is. It's a 1 versus 2. And look at that, the hook right there. So excellent job. It looked like may have been a high stick against Gaucher, but good job from the referees here to recognize right there. He hooks Maye to keep the puck going. First power play. This is a big one here for Peterborough.
Sure is. Tucker Robertson to take the draw, and the Petes win it back. Tucker Robertson harassed by Waugh. Down the wing, off to Hayes. It's officially called a tripping minor to Nathan Gaucher. Back up high to Gavin White. Fans on it. Brennan Hoffman now. Back to White. Fires a shot. That one fluttered off of Shaw in front, and it's cleared off the glass and out.
I say it's a big power play. Well, they all are, but I really think this is because if you get Quebec to score the game's first goal, we saw the other day how they can sit on a lead and lock things down. Talked about early confidence for the Petes. How good would that be, and how far would that go for them to get on the board first?
Turnover. Here comes Goddard. One shorty already in the tournament, and won't get one here as it goes over to the corner for Rochette. And Peterborough diffused the opportunity as Tucker Robertson slows it down with Gavin White. White dropping it back. Robertson to center with Hoffman. Hoffman just sends it right back to the neutral zone where Gavin White gets it, plays it ahead. Now Owen back. Wheeling it over the line, but he's called for offside.
You can feel the caution in the power play for Peterborough, and you have to respect good defense because they can transition and go from defense to offense awfully quickly. That's exactly what happens here, right? If you double clutch or second guess yourself on entry, you could be chasing the puck down. A really good job from Gavin White there to try to attack the stick. Doesn't take a penalty, that's key, and so you neutralize a shorthanded chance, and they play on.
Shaw, hard off the glass and out. Simpson venturing out of his net to play with 5 minutes to go in the first. And 25 seconds to go in the power play. Here's Avon, speed down the left side, and he missed. Short side on Rousseau. Here's back to the corner. Avon back to back in front of Stillman. Back under pressure from Shaw. Stillman provides some support. And the Pete's are going to work on him here, trying to pry it loose. Gaucher set to step out of the box. Here he is. Gaucher out to center with Robida. 2-on-1. Gaucher across, and he just missed Robida. Bit of an awkward one for Robida anyway. How do you feel that it cleaned? Is Gaucher right back in, spinning off the puck. Lockhart finishes right back in for Jamie Langlois. Rochette off the boards. Now Rochette with Bolduc. Avery Hayes. Back across for Jonathan Malee. Back to center. Potential 2-on-1 here, but Jack Dubois recovers for Peterborough. The puck is lobbed to center ice. Now Hayes collects it, and he fires it wide. Broken stick here. It's out of Jeremy Langlois. As the puck comes back in over the line for offside. 3:27 to go in the first. Quebec looking to connect here on a 2-on-1 with Gaucher and Robida, but they come up empty-handed on this occasion.
The CHL on TSN is brought to you by Go RVing Canada. Find your wildhood.
First intermission show will be coming up at the conclusion of this period. Of course, Laura, Cheryl, and Craig are back. Hi, Laura. Yes, we're ready. And thanks to Craig Button for taking some time out of his pickleball schedule to talk hockey with us tonight. He was a popular guy, I'm told, this morning. For a good 40 or so folks that came just to watch him play pickleball.
Why wouldn't they? He's a 3.5, 3.6 rating. He can play the game.
Taking over the country one pickleball game at a time. Last year in St. John, this year in Kamloops. That's right. Round the boards it comes for Malatesta. Noss. Dry size for Komarov. Malatesta up around, spearing, directs Agostino to the boards. The fave off to Robertson. Chasing the puck down ice. A couple feet out of the net is Rousseau. And where's the puck? Oh, there it is. Malatesta had it somewhere. It popped out. Lefebvre backends it off the glass. And Robertson plays it right back around for Connor Smith. Collected out of the skates of Robertson. Back to Smith. Quick shot with lots of traffic in front of Rousseau. It just missed. Tied up behind the net. Lefebvre. And Komarov. Referee says play on. They do. The puck comes out to Smith. And Rousseau catches a piece of that, lunging out with the glove. Bouncing puck at center. Chopping out at Komarov. Directs his man back to the boards. And it's flipped in by Gaucher the other way.
So many similarities between these two teams. It's remarkable, and it's about the play away from the puck, and they're positioning as a group of five defensively away from the puck. I said earlier about the cadence of this game. It's going to be different than most games that you see. It's very cerebral. It's almost like waiting to see who's going to make the first mistake first.
Back around the boards. There have not been many mistakes, though, in this first period.
Very true. And by mistakes, they don't even have to be egregious. It's a positional mistake, right? That one shot from Quebec, the defenseman for Peterborough lost his gap. It was about a 15-foot gap, and bam, shot on net, and it's good.
Feels like a chess match, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, it really does.
Here's Maillet. Stops it at the point. Plays it across for Connor Lockhart. He's fresh off the bench, and he sends that one in from long range. Picked up by Rousseau.
Well, the quality chances have been few and far between. And just look at this, right? So everybody's patient. You battle on the wall, nothing too hasty. So you're hoping to win a 50-50 battle. Referee continue. Look at that. I mean, that right there tells you what type of game this is going to be. But the puck pops loose, easy for me to say, and a chance from it. You have to be so patient in a game like this. Easier for Quebec, because imagine the maturity it takes for Peterborough knowing that their season could end, and these guys have gone to war with each other, and that's the last thing they want to happen. So staying patient isn't always easy when you're in those dire straits.
Over the line, Rochette sends it toward the corner for Rochette. Back to Rochette. Rochette again behind the net. Looking for Langlois, he pinched. Quebec will recover from center. Komarov has that explode off his blade. Passes it right back across for Jeremy Langlois. Here's Zachary Bolduc. Back low behind the net for Connor Smith. Off the boards, Lockhart. Wants to cross ice. Believe takes a knock as Nico Savoie settles it down.
We'll be seeing this all night long. There it is again, the 1-3-1, 1-1-3, whatever it is, call it what you want. It's very patient forecheck.
And no offense cooking for us here in the first period of play. A stalemate in Kamloops between the Peterborough Petes and the Quebec Remparts, tied at 0.
A physical opening period, yet no goals to show for it in this must-win for the Petes. Gavin White's been here before. Here he is now with Julia.
All right. Gavin, a solid 20 minutes of hockey. Aside from not scoring a goal, was that what you wanted to see from your team in the first 20?
Yeah, you know, we've been struggling the last couple of games, you know, so we decided to come out, you know, just play our own game and, you know, just kind of get back to the basics. You know, I think we did a pretty good job of that period.
How do you build on it for the second?
You know, I think we just got to continue to get pucks on net. You know, we're a really good team at crashing the net, so we get pucks there, bodies there, good things are going to happen.
I've talked a lot about playing through adversity. We've talked a little bit about the Hamilton Bulldogs team that you were a part of last year that was 0-2. How much of that experience are you drawing on tonight? Yeah, you know, that was huge last year. You know, me and Avery getting that experience last year was huge for us, and you know, the last couple of days we've been all over the boys, you know, just to stay positive and you know, just to enjoy the moment, you know, take it in. We're in the Memorial Cup, and you know, just go out there and work hard. That's all it is. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
This is the first time at this year's Memorial Cup that the Petes have outshot their opponent in any period, and no goals to show for it. But again, we were talking about the game yesterday. It's quality versus quantity here. As we are at the intermission with Craig, Cheryl, and Laura. We just heard from Gavin White. There's another player that knows all about this scenario, being down 0-2 at the Memorial Cup with their backs against the wall. That's Avery Hayes. And again, no goals in that opening period, Craig, but Hayes was everywhere.
Yeah, he was, and he was in a lot of places physically, and he was in some places verbally too. He got into it with William Rousseau. So, you know, he understands what the magnitude of this game is, and, you know, you want to see players that understand that you got to get dialed right in, and he was making some comments to William Rousseau, and then he got involved in different parts of the game. He was physical. He's standing up to the different challenges. He had the puck on his stick a few times and got some pucks directed to the net. But Avery Hayes is not going to shy away from the demands of a must-win game.
Yeah, it is a must-win game, and you know that he's going to increase that temperature as it goes on. Rob Wilson talked about it. That first period was critical for them. Sort of forget about what happened and get their legs under them and start playing Pete's hockey.
And they got off to a good start. They were out shooting the Remparts 5-1 in the opening 5 minutes of the game, but again, no goals on the board yet here at the Sandman Center. A low event period to be sure here, just one penalty to show for it. And when it came to the Pete's power play, it didn't look as great because it was actually Quebec that had the best chance.
Well, I think think there was a fortuitous foul. I didn't think that was a penalty on Nathan Gaucher. I think this is exactly how you want a player to check. With his legs, get the stick over the other player's stick. He never makes contact with the hands. He's right on the stick there, and to me, that should have been a penalty. But nonetheless, the Petes get an opportunity on the power play. They were sloppy inside the blue line. This is a real great chance for Gaudette. He loses the puck at the last second. Then another failed entry comes across, and you're just not able to get into the offensive zone and take advantage of anything. J.R. Avon from a poor angle shoots it high and wide, but there was zero real offensive zone time on that power play with a real significant opportunity to get that first goal of the game.
Well, yeah, and when you do gain entry, as you were mentioning, we were talking about it on the panel, taking that shot. I mean, you're outside that dot. You got to delay, you got to set up, because you're, as a goaltender, you're able to read that, get right to your post and cut off the angle.
We were all very impressed by the play of the Quebec Remparts defense yesterday. You know, the opening goal came 54 seconds in. We didn't see another one over 56 minutes later. But it's kind of the Petes giving them a taste of their own medicine in this one, Chip.
Well, they're eerily similar in terms of their structure, and there is some nuances that are different. And for a lot of people at home, yes, it can be boring hockey when it's all about the neutral zone, and that is where this game is being played. The Petes setting up often in the 1-3 or the 1-1-3 or the 1-4, and because they're doing that, they want to contest the blue line, and they don't want to allow that speed or a rush team like Quebec to gain entry. But they have been able to get the puck, and they've been managing it when those dump-ins happen, because they're able to get going north with those clean exits. They're jumping to the puck, they have active sticks, and because they're deflecting to the perimeter, they're getting rewarded with that possession. As you can see, Avon just driving the net right there. So it's all about holding with the stick, pushing to the outside. But the biggest thing is that they're managing the puck off of it. When they get the dump in after contesting the neutral zone, they're finding a way to retrieve the puck. Good, short passes to get clean exits.
Quebec Remparts understand exactly what they're up against, and they're so smart. I keep talking about how the intelligence of the individuals and the team as a whole, and they understand, okay, we're going to have to dump it in. We're going to have to play this style of game. So we can talk about where the Petes are trying to find their confidence. Quebec Remparts are completely comfortable playing this style of game.
Patrick Waugh said it yesterday. He said, I just felt like the team was in control the whole time. You can certainly see there's control there, but I do think that the Petes are feeling pretty good about their performance right now.
And it was a physical first period, which fits into that Peterborough identity, something we were expecting to see against Kamloops, and it was the Blazers getting the advantage and end up, of course, winning that game 10-2. As our intermission continues here at the Sandman Center, the crew from Bar Down, they're back with a brand new segment with the Remparts and their head coach right in the middle of it.
Hi, I'm Justin Robidoux. Hi, I'm Nathan Gaucher.
My name's Evan Oss. I play for the Quebec Remparts.
My name is James Malatesta, and I play for the Quebec Remparts also. Clip number 1.
There we go.
Who's the other coach?
Look at Martin just trying to calm him down.
Check Lappy's holding him back.
I wonder what this guy's thinking. Like, come on.
Yeah.
It's Patrick Waugh.
Yeah.
Oh my. He loves the finger too. He gets the finger out.
Je pense que Torchman était peut-être pour connaître un mauvais match. Hier, il a donné 2 mauvais buts. Alors j'espère qu'il y a là puis qu'on va profiter de ses largesses.
On that, he's basically saying that like the other goalie played like.
Yeah, he said he let in 2 bad goals.
And I hope he continues to do that.
Yeah, I hope he's gonna be like that for the next games.
And that was before the Memorial Cup final.
Yeah.
Growing up in Moncton, like was just he public enemy #1 then at that?
I know when I went to Quebec Remparts games growing up, all it was throughout the rink was Patrick. Yeah, the fans are pretty intense on him.
I feel like everyone does that, but everyone loves him like at the same time, like, you know.
But in Moncton, there's definitely that. Yeah.
You take a risk when you do that because you're like the other goalie can take that as a motivation. So I don't know. It's ballsy.
He won the game for the team before it even started. So.
And he looked good. He looked sharp.
On the ground.
I wouldn't be really happy if the goalie did that.
Okay, but he was the coach. He was the coach, and he was like stopping McKenna and all that.
You know what this was? I think he had a charity game that night, I think. He told me about this. I'm pretty sure he had a charity game and he was warming up when he was in doing the morning skate.
I hope he would do that with us. Just step
at the end of the year.
You think you would ever do that?
No, I don't think so.
He hasn't done that with us, but he plays in a beer league back home, and we get him out in the 3-on-3 So he doesn't go as goalie, but he plays
forward.
3-on-3 forward before practices with the scratch guys. Yeah.
Come on.
And he's unreal. He doesn't have the best boots in the game, but he's got his IQ.
He knows where to go. Yeah,
He knows where
he's
to
got
go.
good IQ.
His puck placement's
him and
incredible.
Sim play together, and Sim still got it.
Sim still got it for sure.
Yeah.
But Pat can move the puck. Oh yeah. He facilitates out there.
You think you'd score on him?
I don't know. We'd have to see.
I don't think I'd want to score.
The mountains.
No.
Yeah.
I'm getting flashbacks.
I know. Well, just at the end of practice, you got to skate under a certain amount of time.
We did these a lot.
And it just burns the legs.
lot. And the best is when you think you're done. He's like, oh, what are we going to do 4? And he's like, we're going overtime, boys.
Come on.
And we do another
Double overtime.
Double overtime. The boys are
so we don't know when it's going to end.
Yeah.
Oh, that is good stuff. Thanks again to the crew at Bar Down. So Patrick Waugh obviously bringing the star power to this Quebec Remparts team. 2006 rookie head coach, wins the Memorial Cup, and here he is 17 years later. Could be his last season, hasn't made an announcement yet, but the personality shining through, that's for sure.
It won't be his last season coaching, because if he goes, the team should be paying real close attention to him to get behind an NHL bench. He's ready to help a team win. I love Nathan Gaucher, though. I don't think I'd want to score on Patrick. Right? Well, let me tell you this. It's not like it was easy to score on Patrick either. Even if you wanted to, Nathan, it wasn't easy to score on him. But you're right. Like, I mean, he was such a fiery competitor as well as being a great goaltender. But that fire, it came out in his coaching early on. I think there's a little bit more of a calmer Patrick Waugh behind the bench than when we first saw it.
A little zen. Well, I wouldn't go that far to say zen, but you can certainly still see the passion that is in him, and it is so intrinsic within him. And you speak to him when you speak about the game, you speak about some of the kids he's been coaching for years. And when we talk about defensive structure with him, I mean, he is so intelligent, just with that calm presence and saying, hey, we work on this over and over and over again. Because for me, he was talking about it, there's 3 simple things, stick to puck. And I'm like, I'm glued to him. Right? Because it's
contagious.
Thinking that there's this 4-time Stanley Cup champion that's teaching these kids and elevating their game with that calm and that passion. So the reason why they're playing like they are out there today, and pretty amazing to see.
This was the second part, because we saw the first part yesterday. The 2 Stanley Cup rings in my ear. That's a good one. All right, 0-0 your score after the first period in this must-win for the Petes.
Back inside Sandman Center in Kamloops, British Columbia. No score after the first period of play, Kevin. A very tentative, uneventful, patient game for the Peterborough Petes Quebec Remparts so far.
Patient with the puck, Peterborough Petes. Try to say that 5 times fast, right? Well, that's exactly what they had going on in the first period. In all 3 zones where there was nothing hasty. Look at the patience on the breakout. Hold, look for an option, take the option. It's not like they weren't skating. They skated at the right times, but man, I'm not sure I've seen a more passive period. Look at all 5 guys in the neutral zone. Everybody above their options, setting each other. Look at the feet. Look at the feet. Are you kidding me? 5 guys, again, just saying, come at us. We're going to be above options. There's the puck. Cough it up, put it right back in, and then get to the forecheck. And then, although it wasn't a heavy forechecking period, put the puck to a safe place. Pick your chances, pick your spots, go to them, and more of the same, right? It's low event, wait for a chance, you get it, put the puck there. And again, I think the first goal in this game is going to be more important of a first goal than any game in this tournament so far. It's going to be locked. It already is. Quebec against Seattle, first goal, and they just shut things down. That's Peterborough Pete style as well. We play on into our stalemate, like you said. Our chess game is marching on.
Now the question is, Kevin, when do we get that first goal? Might take a little while, but after all, this is junior hockey, so for all we know, we might be in store for the most offensive period of this tournament thus far.
Point, just when you think you got it all figured out, right?
Here comes Charles Truchon. We started this tournament with 32 goals in 3 games, and we had 4 last night, but we went 57 minutes between goals, and this one has been a tepid offensive start. To a period, and now 30 seconds into the second period. Jonathan Malee passes off to Jacques Dubois. Back across. Malee on the backhand set that one over top of Rousseau, and it's out of play.
Nice little backhand from Jonathan Malee. 2 goals in game 1 against Sudbury in that series, and right here again, look at that. It's just a bit of a broken play, and wow, quickly elevates that right off of the forehead of Rousseau. Early in tight chance. Keep it out at all costs any way you have to.
Well, Lee missed a good portion of the playoffs. Lower body injury, but in the 13 games he did play, had 5 goals. Nice offensive output for him after 9 goals in 58 regular season games. One of those players for Peterborough that returned a little ahead of schedule. I originally anticipated its timeline for injury would be 6 weeks. He suited up for game 1 of this Memorial Cup 3 weeks after the initial injury. Out to center ice. McCoy. And the pass ahead. Stillman directs it back for McCoy and back ahead to the neutral zone. Brennan Hoffman looking for Stillman. He missed him with the pass. Evan Noss weaving his way to center. Noss picking up speed, just dumps it in. Goes right after Donovan McCoy. Now back along the boards. Brennan Hoffman. Cross for Stillman, and Peterborough is just offside.
Good players know how to protect the puck, and really good players know how to use other players' strength and turn it into their own. Hoffman does a nice job here, just waiting for the puck. He's deep in his own defensive zone, so watch the way he waits. He uses the push and the contact from his opposing player, and then he's gone. He takes his energy and turns it into his own, and because of that, he gets a quick little start out of his own zone with the puck on a stick.
Here's Zanetti. Long range. That's an easy one for Rousseau, and he'll hang on.
Josh Morrissey in Winnipeg is among the best at that very skill, where he's not a big D-man, but he defends against the biggest, fastest players in the National Hockey League. And one of the tricks that he talks to me about all the time is just waiting, using body position, and you steal other people's inertia. You steal their energy with body position, and if you're on the inside, you can take that and off you go. You don't have to be big to play big hockey.
Here's Malatesta, full steam ahead, rushing in, and Simpson saves. It's way back to the slot. Romanov shoots, and Simpson stops that as well. Most explosive sequence of the game thus far.
Oh, how big of a save are both of those saves from Simpson? Malatesta, 3 goals in his first game in this tournament, and he looks for more.
When Malatesta gets going at full speed, I'm not sure there's anybody in this tournament that's going to be able to stop him.
9 shots in his last 2 outings. In his only 2 outings in this tournament. He's been all over the place, and no better chance in this game than those.
Here's Hayes shipping it ahead. Langlois at center. Snaps it over to Waugh. Short pass from Malatesta. Good drop back to Robitaille. Shoots. Stopped by Simpson. Rebound bouncing to the corner. Malatesta corrals it from high in the zone. That one's off the stick of Tucker Robertson and out of play.
Boy, Quebec pounces when they sense blood in the water, don't they? Out of the own defensive zone, and right there, quickly make a read off of a face-off loss. It turns into a win for Malatesta as he gets his feet moving up ice. Look at the way he splits the defenseman there with his speed. He tries to go low blocker side, and what a save from Simpson. And this is the follow-up shot. Robita follows in, lets one rip from the high slot area, and Simpson out to challenge that one. Rebound into the corner. So 2 huge saves. Remember those.
Kevin, when you're flying at full speed like that, is it harder to get a shot off that's clean and accurate?
Well, you're asking somebody that didn't skate very fast in his career, but those guys amazing, right? What these guys can do under pressure and small space at speed nowadays. It's probably the biggest change in our game over the last couple of decades. The plays that they're being made at top-end speed. Connor McDavid, I don't need to say anything more than that, but yeah, it's a skill that has been refined over the years. Hockey's in a good place.
Back behind the net. Wow, it's the passing back. It's that 4th unit out there right now with Cooper and Guion. Cooper centers it. Goes all the way back to Wenner at the line. Wenner off to Gaudette. Shot in front from Cooper, and Simpson couldn't squeeze it as Gaucher looks in front. Taken by Chase Lefebvre as he's runned out at center. Back up to Lefebvre of Kapuskasing, Ontario. And he chipped it in. They'll say he did not cross the center ice line, though, so it's icing to Peterborough.
Well, a couple chances. Last shift from Malatesta and Robitaille, and then they follow it up with a bump-up shift. Rebound, and if you're in the right place, just a fantastic job spinning off of that puck onto your forehand to forced Simpson to have to squeeze that post. Look how close that was. It went up in behind him, and he battles with the glove in behind his back to keep this game scoreless.
Gauthier versus Dubois in the face-off circle. And off the boards, Lefebvre directs it back behind the net for Smith. Smith off the glass. Komarov kept it in. And an easy one there for Simpson. Off the end board, she'll just hang on.
Well, Patrick Waugh's club has certainly been feeling it, winning their league and setting a franchise record with 53 wins. Look at their stretch since March 10th. Their overall record, 26-2. That includes here at the Memorial Cup playoffs. They've only lost 2 games. Those were to Halifax in the final. And then look at their road record, including the Memorial Cup, 13-0. They haven't lost. And that is... those are overwhelming statistics. A team that is feeling it knows who they are, and they play to their identity, to say the least.
Went on a hot stretch through into the playoffs, and then when they got to the conference final, they took on a Gatineau team that some people had as the favorite to win that series. Not only did Quebec win it, they swept the Gatineau Olympique this year.
13 consecutive wins in the playoffs, 21 in total if you go back into the regular season. Just unbelievable. They found their best hockey at the right time. They were great all season long. They look near flawless, don't they?
In this tournament alone, they have yet to spend any time trailing. Prior to this game tonight, they've spent 89.2% of all time in the lead in their 3 games.
Look, they're a team that is good at playing with the lead. It would be really interesting to see how, if at all, their structure would change if they were down by a goal or 2, because they'd have to force for more offense, which is something they really don't have to do, or they haven't done yet.
There's Chase Stillman. Run into the corner with Noss. Noss plays it back out to the slot. Maillet sends that wide of the net. Stillman trying to fork it back to the line. It's stripped away and brought up ice by Noss. Passes off to Huchette. Looking for Rochette. And Peterborough back up through center. Here's Hayes with Hoffman. Looking for him, and it's off the stick of Jeremy Langlois. Breaks up the play, and back it comes for Hoffman, drifting high in the zone, tipped in front of Rousseau, and he's fallen back on top of it to get the stoppage.
Well, just watch the details in this game, and this is how it's gone so far. Up the ice, back down the ice, and just look at how all 5 guys on the breakout for Quebec. All 5 guys in one quadrant of the ice, so the chances of getting the puck are good. There's options everywhere, okay? Not a clean breakout. We're going to go to the other side. Let's do it again. All 5 guys in one quadrant, and now they get out and they get to the offensive part of the game. Great stick from number 78 and 2 78s. Earlier, it was Othman that broke up a play defensively to spring them on a 2-on-1, and back and forth we go.
Scrum off the face-off. And from the end boards, taken by Pierre-Olivier Waugh. Spearing hard shot. That's blocked. Dave Vaughn. Sharp angle. And whistle is blown. That was caught by Rousseau.
Patrick Waugh's team, no secret at this point how good they are defensively, right? Their structure starts from defense. I talked with Patrick, and he talked about double duty to me, and they're a bit of a hybrid where they're a man-on-man. They really want to force and pressure. But he says when you're in good defensive position, you can see 2 things. You can see your responsibility, but if there's a breakdown, you can see what's around you as well. So he expects a lot from his guys defensively. My responsibility, but I'll be a second layer if my partner loses his responsibility. So they attack one-on-one, but they're more than that. It's double duty, a hybrid, and like as we were talking about him cross-checking us yesterday, showing he was so enthusiastic about talking about the defensive zone, and his team clearly understands and buys into what he's talking about.
Off the shot. Looks like Mathis Rousseau, or rather William Rousseau, broke his neck guard there. Had to get that replaced. William Rousseau, not to be confused with Mathis Rousseau. That was the goalie for Halifax that he beat in the final. No relation between the 2.
How was that for you?
Well, I didn't call the series, fortunately. That was great, of course. I didn't. So I really shouldn't have made that mistake. But at any rate, it was Kenzie Lalone and Frank Corrado did a great job with it. And as Avery Hayes pushes this puck wide of the net. Ethan Gaucher looking to work it up the boards. Back around it comes J.R. Avon. Centering attempt, doesn't get through. Nico Savoie passing ahead, picked up by J.R. Avon. Back in off the boards. And Savoie bounces it back for Gaucher. Up ice, here Olivier Roy. On the wing. Down toward the end boards. Gaucher trying to move it out in front. It ends up just wide of the net. Tucker Robertson poked away by Malatesta. He goes right after Maillet. Agostino back off the boards. Maillet nudges it around. Avery Hayes is there to pick it up. Westland, Michigan native was directed to the boards by Agostino as it comes back behind the net for Charles Truchon. Up it comes for James Malatesta. Smith snaps it right back where it's tipped in by Jacques Dubois. Agostino off to Malatesta and Robida. Valiant effort to stay on side, but ultimately in vain. This faceoff will come back to center ice. Still looking for our first. This was the best chance at it. A breakaway for Malatesta.
The CHL on TSN is proudly presented by BetRivers.com. It's a whole new game.
The oldest, longest operating team in the OHL, the Peterborough Petes, have seen more Memorial Cup appearances than anyone else out of that league as well. Although they haven't had a whole lot of success in the final, just 1-6 all time, and the one win right here in overtime back in 1979. That was Bob Atwell off a shot from Larry Murphy at the point in overtime to defeat the Brandon Wheat Kings. And we see in this field some of the most experienced franchises in the history of this esteemed tournament. Of course, the Quebec appearances, those go back to the 70s as well, when they were the first incarnation of the Quebec Remparts.
You really got to study up on your history, buddy. Come on, pick it up.
It's only got 102 years of it to dive into, Kevin.
So special to have the three most accomplished Memorial Cup teams in this tournament. With Kamloops, Quebec along with Peterborough, like you said.
There's a shot off the wing from Cooper. Stick snaps it too. Back to Truchon. Off to Wenner. And the stick from Cooper makes the play on the puck as it goes back around the boards. Here Olivier Roy now off the bench. Truchon plays it over to Roy. Shut off along the boards as Guyon plays it back low. Both of these franchises, so many great stories over the decades of existence, both of them. And their fair share of Hall of Famers as well. Connor Lockhart, or Othman, he moves that in over the line. Wenner off the end boards for Bolduc. That's knocked down by Zanetti and out of the net. To scoop that up is Michael Simpson.
Well, not an easy thing to do to recover from a 10-2 loss. Rob Wilson was excellent in controlling the emotions of his team. He talked about just taking yesterday and just going to the beach. Be together. Let's just decompress. That was one you certainly flush. He said his team was quiet this morning. He said, but they wanted to come to the rink early. He thought that was a really good sign. And you know what? Getting through the first period alive was probably step number one and priority number one. They did that. This low-scoring game isn't going to surprise him or his team whatsoever. It's what he expected. So far, in my opinion, so good after recovering from a beatdown, a real tough loss to Kamloops that can shake your confidence.
Here's Chase Stillman. Back to Stillman. He had a look, it just missed. Zanetti lost it. Gaudette up to Gaucher. Racing after him is Owen Beck. Gaucher passes off, and the shot is stopped by Simpson. That was Houchette pulling the trigger. He's got it again now. Quickly back to Noss. And the pass for Komarov misses, but it drifts behind the net for Gaucher. Houchette back around the boards. Gaucher is going to get to it first, wrapping it around, and fanning on the shot was Houchette. And the puck bounces back through the neutral zone and into Quebec territory. Olin Komarov lost an edge. Hoffman out in front, they score! Tucker Robertson in a game of mistakes. Peterborough capitalized on an error from Quebec, and they've got a 1-0 lead.
Well, you had to wonder if it wasn't going to be a mistake that was going to lead to the game's first goal. There's been very, very few mistakes. Komarov has been quiet but good in this tournament. The big man makes the simple little plays, but right there, maybe one too many turns. He loses his footing, and the old 3-on-0. You've seen a lot of those, haven't you? Said nobody ever against these two teams, and a good job from Robertson, who we talked about off the top. He needed to be better, and he was in the right place to drop to one knee on the one-timer, get the all-important, and I mean all-important first goal in this game.
First goal in the tournament for Tucker Robertson after he was excellent in the OHL Championship Series against London. Had 4 goals, 5 assists through 6 games in that series, including a Game 3 overtime winner and the game winner in Game 6. Here's Hayes, back to the point for Spearing. We'll see if that goal might open things up a little bit. As Jeremy Langlois tries to chop it up the wing. Here's Malatesta bunting it down at center. Long range. No one sent wide of the net. Back around to Tom Simpson. Thought about playing to leave it for Maya. Up for Hayes. Tipped in. Off the boards and behind the net. Here, Olivier Waugh turning around. Off the boards again. Lockhart kicks it ahead. Picked off by Rochette. Dubois trying to send it in. And Truchon up the center. Lifts it in on the backhand. Right past Simpson. Out of the corner. Off the back of the net. Gavin White. Or rather, check that. Connor Smith off the glass and out. Winter over to Truchon. Bolduc. McCoy sends it back to the neutral zone. Lockhart off the boards for Beck. Beck in on the wing, turning back. Beck stays with it. Page floats out wide. Whitton Page had his first goal of the postseason, including the Memorial Cup in that against Kamloops. As Brendan Hoffman off to Stillman. That shot's blocked. That one caught a piece of Wenner, and he's keeled over a little bit. That hurt as he'll go into the corner here with Hoffman sweeping it around the boards to Stillman. Wenner still laboring in front of the net. As in from the point, Maillet turns back. Handing off. Beck. Shot. Tips, and Rousseau down and made the save. Kept it off the goal line. Peterborough applying pressure here, 5-on-5, but Quebec will clear the zone.
The winner ends up blocking a shot, and he gets a stinger because of it. A shot that should never have had to be blocked. We got a
Back change. Here come the Petes. Stillman across. They score! Another mistake, and Peterborough make them pay. It's J.R. Avon.
Well, this is a team that makes very few mistakes, and they're almost never sloppy in their own defensive zone. It was Owen Beck that forced this puck to stay alive. He forced a turnover in the offensive zone, and then they continue to play on. We had a 3-on-0 on that last goal. We had another 3-on-0 for a fraction of a second on this goal. 2 clear-cut breakdowns in the game where there's been next to none. Peterborough Petes have capitalized on both of them. A couple sloppy plays from Quebec and a couple goals for the Petes, 2-0.
2 goals, 2:33 apart for the Peterborough Petes. After no goals in the first, some quick strike offense in the second period. The Remparts moving back into Petes territory. And Zanetti picks it up. Takes a bump from Gaucher. The referee goes down as well. There's Dave Lewis in the corner as it comes back to center. Cam Gauvreau shoots it in. Evan Noss with Connor Lockhart. Dax Dubois. Dubois ties up his man. Lockhart back to the line. Gauvreau shoots. Sharp deflection. And Rousseau was there for the save as Noss stops from behind the net. Plays it up to Houchette. Now Maillet turns up ice. Gathering speed. Maillet off the boards and in past Langlois and on Nico Savoie. Shoves him right off the puck. And to the point, skipping over Avon. He's got to be careful. Here comes Robida with Malatesta. He shoots it, spearing, caught a piece. As Nico Savoie from the line, it's blocked. Here go the Petes again in transition. But this time, it'll come back to center on the offside. 2 goals about 2.5 minutes apart for the Petes, Robertson and Avon. And it's a 2-0 Peterborough lead.
Well, we all know hockey players have a tendency to be very superstitious, and that definitely extends to this Peterborough Petes team. Brennan Othman is a star on the team. He's also a star of many superstitions. The most important one to him is always being the last one on the ice. We noticed it at the World Juniors, and it is definitely back here at the Memorial Cup, to the point that he even prefers to beat our camouflage camera guy, Nate, off the ice, Victor.
Well, players are creatures of habit. Certainly put it off and fits that. Well, do you have any weird superstitions, Kevin, as a player?
I got exhausted from them when I did play. I was just going to ask you the same thing, but no, I just got too tired, so I let them all go. Paul Correa was an old teammate of mine in Anaheim. I've never met a guy with more superstitions than Paul.
Is that right?
Oh, it was unreal. Routine is routine for some people.
So back in their own zone. Guess it worked pretty well for Paul Correa, though.
Yeah, I'd say it was not a bad career. So disciplined in everything that he did in practice, in games, pre-game, all of it.
Late behind the net for Justin Robida. Off to Noss. Noss back to Robida. Cross, they scored! James Malatesta. The Quebec are on the board for the first time tonight.
Just an excellent job at infesting the net area, and Malatesta with his 4th goal of this tournament, and a dangerous hit. It looked like a scary one in the corner for Gannett. He goes down, and boy, you wonder, was he okay? And look at that, Robida quickly peels out to the weak side, a give and go, and then right to the back where Malatesta puts himself in a good spot, right through the blue paint, skate to stick to net, and the lead is cut in half, 2-1 Petes.
QMJHL playoff MVP James Malatesta, first Rampart to win it since Adam Ernie did it in 2015. That year Ernie had 21 goals in 22 games. The Quebec Remparts, they lost that year though in the final to Rimouski. Malatesta this season for Quebec continues to put together an excellent postseason run into the Memorial Cup. He had a hat-trick in the opening game of the tournament against Kamloops as Rochette collects it in over the line. Bolduc snapped over to Nico Savoie, and that's sent just wide of the net. And Peterborough back to center. Here's Brennan Othman in on the wing, and that one's off the glove of Rousseau. Taken by Pierre-Olivier Waugh. Up to center, hits Bolduc. Left wing, Bolduc whizzes it wide. And back to center ice, Truchon over to Wenner. And there's a penalty here on the play. That was Rochette in front of the net who was taken down. And there will be a power play when we return.
The CHL on TSN is brought to you by Go RVing Canada. Find your wildhood.
We thought it was a power play at one moment, but it's going to be offsetting penalties. Initially it was a cross-check to spearing net front, I believe it was, and then diving to Rochette. So we'll play 4-on-4 hockey, offsetting penalties. A little chipping and chatting on the way to the penalty box. Emotion in this game here.
So both captains sitting for the Petes Remparts. Off the draw, Owenbeck wins it back to Maillet. Donovan McCoy That's for Maillet. And back takes a knock from Malatesta at center as it's settled back down by Donovan McCoy in his own zone. Going back. Cross ice, hits Avon with speed. Avon shoots, and Truchon recovers defensively for Quebec.
Truchon has been excellent defensively in this tournament. He had a goal last game, but it's been the defensive play for me that has stood out. He's a big body, and the game number 1 against Kamloops stood out where he was up in the face of Logan Stankoven all night long. And just here again, you think that there's going to be a good chance. Avon tries to get a dangerous shot at full speed, and Truchon just swiftly comes in, makes it look easy, good defensive stick, and up into the mesh behind.
And off the face-off, Zanetti passed over to Spearing, and that one's up high on Rousseau. Spearing take it to the boards as Robertson wrapped up by Komarov. Loose puck taken by Zanetti, passes off. Hayes scores! What a beautiful shot that was from Avery Hayes, and the Petes are back in front by 2.
Well, a face-off team who has been much better on face-offs in this game. 21-9 in favor of Peterborough. This is off of a clean face-off win. So you get possession, you lose it, but you work to get it back, and you get to different spots. Options in low ice, right? Robertson's down in the corner, and then in the high slot, it's Avery Hayes, and a nice pass 4-on-4. Lots of extra ice out there. Peterborough takes advantage of it. Avery Hayes off the post and in. 2-goal lead back.
Avery Hayes came up big for the Bulldogs when they needed him last year in the 3rd game of the round robin and stay alive in St. John against Edmonton. Scored a goal, and he's got another for Peterborough in a must-win game tonight. It's his 6th career goal at the Memorial Cup. Yes, Kassim got it in front. They score. Nathan Gaucher finishes off the play. And back and forth we go, 4-on-4.
So hard to figure out the rhythm of this game, isn't it? Where one chance at one end often turns into another chance at another end, and then a goal at one end. We've seen it now twice. A goal 200 feet away. Gaucher, who has just been a rock star in this. Kassim Gaudet, eyes on the net, and a nice pass right into the strike zone for Gaucher, who redirects this one in tight, right between the legs of Simpson. And back to a 1-goal game, 3-2 Petes. Quick counter.
Well, just as we suspected, Kevin, we were going to be in for a dead, rather eventless first period, and then the lid would blow off in the second, and we get 5 goals, back and forth hockey, just as we have here. Here's Malatesta now.
I don't know if I would have predicted 5 goals in the first 16 minutes of this period.
I wouldn't have either, buddy. Going back, comes up to center ice. Skating in over the line. Back to the point. Maillet shoots, and that one's spotted by Rousseau. He'll get the whistle.
Scored by number 91, Nathan Gaucher.
So you can see the attention to detail defensively. So there's the puck carrier, and then there's going to be reinforcements. But look at the high ice, and that's a play that Quebec is willing to give up. They do not want to allow that puck to go to the back door. If it goes up to that strong side D-man, they're saying, okay, we can recover. Our goaltender doesn't have to push, and he's going to make that save. They have enough trust in Rousseau, so a double team in the corner leads to a shot from the point. Quebec will take it.
Here's Langlois. Passes off to Bolduc. Back to Langlois. From center, Gauvreau and Rochette are both out of their respective boxes. That's the back to set it up in the offensive zone. They'll bring it in over the line. Rochette to Bolduc. Pass blocked by Smith. Well, back around the boards for Langlois. Circled around again by Rochette. And Stillman fires off a pass, rink wide for Brennan Othman, leaving it behind for Dubois. Dubois curling to the net, just wide. Off the board, settled by Langlois, and up to Bolduc. Bolduc, pass picked off by Othman, and taken right back by Langlois. Shuffled in by Robertson. Hayes challenging Komarov. Komarov takes him down, and he's going to get a penalty for this.
Another look at this one. Komarov, big, strong man, and sometimes you can take penalties for just being the stronger of the two in a battle. So there it is. Hayes goes to hit Komarov. Komarov with a little pushback, so you can see the elbow is up a little high, but I don't know. That's one that probably could have gone uncalled for me. I don't get the final say, so Peterborough will go to the power play for their second time.
Who it's officially holding to Vsevolod Komarov. Still 2:42 to go in the second. Pete's are 0 for 1 on the power play thus far tonight. And the mighty maroon and white go back to work on this man advantage. It is taken up ice to center by the Remparts. Here's Nathan Gaucher. Plays it over to Stillman. Chase Stillman back behind the net for Sam Maille of Lurignal, Ontario. That's right on the Ontario-Quebec border. Speaks fluent English and French. There's J.R. Avon. Has that picked off, and Waugh was looking to spring Gaucher on a break. It's taken by Beck. Over the line, and in he comes. Beck, back to Maille. Avon, cross ice, back off his skate. To Sean Dubois. He'll fling that down for Michael Simpson. Now Maille walking ahead to center. Swings it back for Tucker Robertson. Hoffman. Off to Hayes, back to White. Hoffman. Up high for White. Gavin White looks for a lane, passes off. Robertson back to White. White shoots. Robertson blocked it in front. Chance to clear, gone down around the boards. White holds it in. Here's Hayes on the wing. Back to White. White with it again. Walking the line, shoots, and that's tipped wide. Peterborough settling down again. Hoffman to the corner for Robertson. Lefebvre posted in front of the netminder Rousseau. As Hoffman will switch with White, he shoots. That's tipped by Lefebvre and high out of play.
This is excellent mobility from Gavin White. So you've got a very patient, structured penalty kill. Look at the feet from Gavin White, moving, opening up heel to heel, and that opens up a lane to the net, and you've got traffic there trying to swallow up a second opportunity. This is the second chance. Walk the line, move the line. Look at the lane that opens because of the mobility. The feet from Gavin White, that is excellent mobility that opened up 2 lanes to the net, 2 shots through. Nice work.
Off the face-off, it's fished away to the line for McCoy. Kick save made by Liam Rousseau. And out to center ice it comes again. Power play expired. 2 shots for the Petes. Komarov goes back to the bench. Well, half a minute now remaining in this second period. Have Shane Doan swinging by our panel for the second intermission show. Fresh off a World Championship gold for Canada as part of the management team there for that championship roster. This puck goes out of play. Of course, a long time Kamloops Blazer, very successful Kamloops Blazer was Shane Doan. He'll be up there. There he is, talking with Craig Button. Of course, Laura Sherrill and Craig will carry the proceedings for the second intermission show.
So much history, right? The alumni for the Kamloops Blazers is second to none. Shane Doan, what a great man. I don't need to tell you the things that he's done in the game of hockey. Respected for what he's done as a player, but when I say this, it sounds cliche, but respected for the person he is even more.
Here comes Houchette. Takes a shot, and he ripped that one just wide. And Sean Spearing passes ahead to Beck. Beck off to Stillman. Off again on the wing for Avon, and Rousseau makes a late second period save to deny J.R. Avon.
Well, how about this? Right as the clock dies, 2-on-1, And look at the confident push from Rousseau. He's not even near his crease. Save as the buzzer goes to put an exclamation point on a 5-goal second period, just like we thought. Vic, 3-2 lead for the Petes after 40.
Petes needed it, and they lead by 1.
An offensive explosion there in that second period. James Malatesta got the party started for Quebec, and here he is with Julia.
Well, the first and the second period couldn't have been any more different. How'd that game open up?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're flat-footed right now. We can't get anything going, and I mean, we're not really playing our style of hockey, so in the third we got to make sure we do what's been making us successful so far this tournament.
Why do you think that's the case, the flat-footedness?
Well, I think maybe our focus level wasn't there before, but you know, we're only down 1 and we haven't been playing good hockey at all, so I think that's the positive side, and we just have to go in the third and give it our all.
I saw you getting into it a little bit as I was walking into it. In here, is it safe to say the focus level is definitely there now?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we love this type of hockey, a lot of emotions. You know, if they want to poke the bear and wake us up, we're going to be there in the third.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Spicy words there from James Malatesta.
Poke the bear.
Pokey, yeah. We're at the intermission with Craig, Cheryl, and Laura once again. And after that first period, yeah, I don't think we were expecting that at all in the second period. And this Quebec Remparts team, again, fine-tuning a little bit because we know we won't see them in action for another couple of days. The final on Sunday. So it was kind of uncharacteristic to see a couple of miscues to them, and hey, all props to the Peterborough Petes because they were able to capitalize.
Well, the Peterborough Petes, we've watched through that until they scored that first goal. They were just patient. They weren't going to give up anything, and then they were going to be ready to take advantage of a miscue or a mistake. And lo and behold, what ends up happening, there's just an unbelievable mistake coming down where the defenseman turns. He's not under any type of pressure, just a little quick turn, and he loses his footing. And Brennan Othman realizes, I got a chance. Tucker Robertson's coming off the bench, and he buries that. So that's a great example of taking advantage of a mistake. And, I mean, it's not a mistake. He just loses his footing. There's nothing he can do. And just like that, Peterborough gets the first goal of the game, which becomes significant. On the second goal, it's another mistake, and Pierre-Olivier Roy is on the boards, and he ends up giving away the that line change. That was the third goal. Sorry, the line change, just a terrible play by Zachary Bolduc across, and now, again, it's a 3-on-0, and, you know, you make those bad line changes in the second period on the long change, you're going to be in big trouble. 2 goals just like that for Peterborough off of mistakes by the Quebec Remparts.
And the Petes, yes, this is a must-win game. Feeling pretty good about themselves, up 2-0. But here comes James Malatesta, the playoff MVP from the Q, gets the first goal on the playoff MVP from the O.
Yeah, why not, right? He had a Hattie the other day, and listen, your best players have to be your best players. And Malatesta, we saw some breakaway speed earlier in the frame, but he finds a way to get to the back of the net, and he does that because he's got good positioning. It's not all about speed, it's about the recognition of where the forecheck is, where the pressure is, where everyone is turned. And just watch him on your screen, number 11. He comes into the ice in that slot area. He's not rushing in. He recognized that this is play below the goal line, so everyone is turned. So there he is. He recognized everyone's underneath him, so he's going to pop back out to a position where he's still available for the puck. His eyes are on the puck. He's very aware. Now he changes his position yet again, cuts out a little bit wider to be available off the stick and in the back of the net. And that's in the 4x6 because he knows exactly where he needed to be as he stepped across. So 3 different times he changed his positioning to get to a quiet area of the ice.
And speaking of positioning, Peterborough had none of that on that goal. It was just a complete 5-player breakdown in the defensive zone.
They had no idea where he was 3 different times. So we're highlighting it from one area. He just recognized everyone was turned, no one was facing him, and he just kept moving to where they weren't.
So yeah, we got 3 goals in about 4.5 minutes. Sounds great. A little barrage, but then right near the end of the period, 2 goals coming in 27 seconds, Craig.
At 4-on-4. So a little bit more open ice, a little bit more opportunity to freewheel, so to speak. But Quebec again has the puck. They lose the face-off goes along the boards, but Pierre-Olivier Roy has the puck. And as the puck comes around, I mean, he can make a play, but then he ends up making a real poor play with the puck, just throws it up, and now it comes right into the wheelhouse of Avery Hayes, and he buries it. Just a real good opportunity. William Russo got hit in the mask, looked like he was trying to adjust it and never really got fully adjusted on it after. But then what happens right after? You know, you get Gaudette on the rush, and then Nathan Gaucher goes right through the middle, right past Brian Zanetti, and it's an easy redirect into the net. So 2 goals for the Quebec Remparts on complete breakdowns by the Peterborough Petes.
Led to a very entertaining second period, and the Petes still holding on to that 3-2 lead. When we come back, we'll be joined by some Blazers royalty. Yes, Shane Doan will be here when we come back.
Doan, who's got a wicked wrist shot.
Big hit by Shane Doan.
Out in front, Doan, he scores! Shane Doan. That was a great battle.
We've seen a lot of Coyote shirts in this here neck of the woods over the last few days. Happy to have 2-time Memorial Cup champ and longtime NHLer Shane Doan here with us. Shane, before we get into the Memorial Cup and Kamloops and the Blazers, big congratulations. I know you're not sure what time your zone you're in, what day it is, but yes, Team Canada winning gold at the Men's World Hockey Championship on Finland this weekend. What was the experience like? I know the team faced a little bit of adversity early on.
Yeah, you know what? It was an absolute unbelievable experience. Every single time I've went over there, it's been incredible. And this group of guys and the way they came together, it was special. I think obviously Steve and Doug did an amazing job, and Andre Tierney and the coaching staff, but the players, they came together so much, and it was so fun to watch.
A lot of upsets in that tournament, right?
Well, when you talk about the group coming together, it's a different type of formation of a team, right? So, you know, as you watch the team come together, then you're competing for the golden win. You know, what does that feel like? I mean, you're part of the management group now, but you were a player at one point in time being part of that.
You know what? It was incredible. It was unbelievable to watch the guys and the way that they came together. I think that anytime you get a bunch of Canadians together and tell them to play hockey, they think they should win no matter who they're playing. I don't care where it's at. And that really kind of came out in our guys. And I had an absolute blast. They were amazing. Our coaching staff was amazing. Andre Tierney and those guys did a great job. But the players, with Toff as being our leader and the group that we had there, they were just, it was so fun to watch, and to see them have success was great.
Well, being the captain in 2007 of the World Championship team, and then with the Coyotes, what are the leadership qualities you're looking in for your athletes right now, being in the management side versus when you were a player and one of the greatest leaders that the game's seen?
Yeah. You know what? It's really that everyone's involved. Like, okay. I think that's the biggest thing in a tournament like that. You have to have your guys really make sure that they do a good job of just, I guess, bringing everyone into the group, because it matters. Everyone's going to be counted on. Every single player is going to play a moment or two in that game and have a significant impact on the tournament. And I think our group did that.
Let's go a little closer to home now. Kamloops Blazers. What's it like being back here? Memorial Cup is back here for the first time in almost 30 years, and yeah, you won a couple of them in your career.
It was 30 years ago?
Yeah,
oh my goodness.
Sorry about that. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's incredible. You see the way the towns come together, and you see the way the guys have come together. Our team is, we're excited to see what's going to happen. We like our team. We're excited about it, and we look forward to watching them do what they can do. It's such a special thing. Obviously, this tournament is unique, and having it here in Kamloops is really special.
What do you remember about '95? I mean, you're the Western Hockey League champions, and now you're hosting the tournament, and the expectations were high for the Blazers. What do you remember about coming into the tournament and playing on home ice?
You know what? I knew how good Brandon was. Really good. Yeah. The Kings were really good. I knew that Brian Berard was going #1 overall. He was playing for the Red Wings for Detroit. You know, it was one of those things that was so much fun. So much fun. Our group was incredible. I knew that we had a really good team, and we had a good chance, and we were excited about it.
Well, Dalen Kiefler lived with you. He's a Kamloops Blazer in your final year. What was that like, and what advice do you have for him?
You know what? To have fun and enjoy this moment. Okay. Like, this is so special. Yeah, he got to live with us, him and Trey Taylor. Their families were incredible families, and we had a really fun year. It was my last year there playing in Arizona, and so they got to come to the dressing room and be part of that. It was really special.
All right, well, we've got some breaking news we wanted to fill you in on really quickly. Darren Dreger reporting that Brad Treliving is expected to be named the new general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Dreger will be here with us on the set in Kamloops in just a couple days' time. You can catch all the details of the Leafs and this latest move next on SportsCenter. So we got the NHL guy here. We had to give a little NHL news. Shane, we appreciate it. Enjoy the game tomorrow. Big one. Kamloops, Seattle. No history there. Meanwhile, it is the Peterborough Petes with a 3-2 lead. A must-win game for them in a big third period coming up next.
Second period scoring summary, a much busier, more active period than it was there in the first. Tucker Robertson, J.R. Avon go bang bang for the Peterborough Petes, and James Malatesta the response for Quebec. And Nathan Gaucher with a late goal there as well for the Remparts, get them back to within a goal. Kevin?
It was an interesting second period, wasn't it? Mistakes, you wait for them, and then can you capitalize? Answer, yes. The old 3-on-0. Komarov losing his footing, and then how about that great job in the high ice? This is uncharacteristic of Quebec, a play that should have been out of their zone. They're usually really good at that. It wasn't. They were forced to block a shot that stung. They get pucks to the net. They forced their goaltender to make a couple saves he probably didn't have to make, and then another mistake, and good for Peterborough to capitalize. A terrible line change, another 3-on-0. They capitalized on that. What stood out here for me in this game is the counter-punchability from Quebec, where a chance at one end usually pulls a team out of structure, and then it turned into a chance at the other end. And look at the patience here again. Finally, Quebec was able to find a way to get through and pierce that 1-3-1 in the neutral zone, negotiated the re-tip net front, and a 5-goal second period. I think this is going to be really interesting here in the third, where less at stake for Quebec, for them to raise their risk profile down by a goal. And of course, for Peterborough, they're going to want to try to stay in structure as long as possible, as they don't win and they don't stay.
Well, the goal simple here for Peterborough. Defend this 1-goal lead. If they can, they'll try and add to it. That'll keep them alive to see another day. That would be on Thursday against the loser of Kamloops and Seattle, whereas if Quebec come back, Peterborough Petes are done for the year.
That wouldn't break Patrick Roy's heart, would it? I mean, I know they want to win and play the game the right way, but Peterborough playing the loser of Kamloops and Seattle will force them to have to play a lot of hockey in a short amount of time leading up to that final on Sunday. Not a game plan that you can actually ask your players to execute, is it?
No, not as Quebec has played all season long, and that's to win.
That's right.
That's what they're trying to do this game, as Smith guides it to the line. Sevlod Komarov sends it down low. Smith is there again. Ryan, back to Smith. Komarov in from the line. Wow, passes off. Shot from Noss, and gloved for the whistle by Simpson.
It's such a tough mental game here for both teams, but for two very different reasons. We talked about it off the top, where Quebec is just trying to be mature, stay mature, play the game the right way so that you don't allow bad habits to creep into your game. A lot of pride on the line for sure, but more pride for Peterborough, losing 10-2 like we talked about, and they have yet to play their best hockey in this tournament. They've kind of turned that around. I think they've done a nice job of that so far.
Here's Hoffman, sends that one off the pad of Rousseau. Back off the boards. Theo Rochette skates it down the right wing. Rochette right in on Simpson, pops up in front. And it's taken back up ice by Stillman. Crossing over the line with Hoffman. And deflected away by Nico Savoie. Throws a bit of a hit on Stillman in the corner. And Zachary Bolduc through center. Stick check by Owen Beck. Gaudette throws a low one right to Simpson, who scoops it up.
So we talk about the counter punchability. It's been a chance at one end that parlays into a chance at the other end. It's for good reason, because you go to the net, you get a chance, and you're probably going to the net and you're out of defensive structure, and then both teams have the ability to capitalize on that very quickly, and they've done that. You can see here again, chance for Quebec translates into chance for Peterborough, and on you go. So as this game opens up for one team, it seems to open up for both.
Off the draw, Avery Hayes. Rushes that to center. Robertson in off the boards. Langlois. Benito Savoie. Gaudette. Savoie. Tough spot there with pressure coming as Avon knocks his man Gaudette right into the lines, but that was Desjardins on the near side. As it comes right back around the boards. And Sean Spearing to the corner for it. Avon back to Spearing. Pounded by Malatesta. Maie back up the wing for Avery Hayes. Now Truchon behind his net line to Rousseau. Passing over center, shoots it into the corner. Jonathan Malee has that picked off. D'Agostino in the middle of the ice. Nothing materializes for Quebec. And Malee back the other way. Sends it in. Rousseau out of the net. Back around off the boards. Lockhart skates it down low off the side of the net. Almost came out to Dubois. Lockhart again from the corner to the slot for Malee. And that one nearly caught a piece of Dubois, who's skating behind the net as it comes back to center for McCoy. Back to Dubois, on to Lockhart, shoots just over top of the net. Lockhart again to the slot today, and he misses as well. He's hit by the net, and it's in off of Truchon. Bad bounce for Quebec. Connor Lockhart off the wing, off the defender, and in.
Well, shot mentality, and boy, when this game opens up, it really opens up all at once. How about the puck movement there? That went close to Jackson. Dubois' face, a shot from the high slot. Look at the reload. Everybody gets back at it, and then a little pass. I can hear Lockhart calling for that puck from up here in the broadcast booth. Shot, again, get it, reload, and fire. The Petes have been rapid firing to the net, and finally just throw it to a net, hope for a bounce, and they get exactly it off the right heel from Truchon in behind Rousseau, who doesn't have a chance on that one. Looks like we're going to be making a goaltender change here. Fist pump from Patrick Waugh to Rousseau at the bench after he lets his fourth goal in. Now, this won't be a shot at Rousseau by any means, but give him a bit of a break as this temperature of this game starts to heat up. 29 shots on net for Peterborough, and they put 4 in.
So Quentin Miller of Montreal, Quebec, comes in to take over. We wondered, Kevin, if with the automatic berth in the final on the second of 2 games of back-to-back days, if Miller might start this game, but obviously that went to Rousseau. But here with 16-20-ish to go in the third, a 2-goal spread, Patrick Waugh will have to go to his backup netminder. Quentin Miller did not play in the playoffs. His last game was March 25th against Rimouski. He had 15 saves in a 1-0 overtime win for his second career QMJHL shutout. As Gaudette gets a shot in on Simpson, he makes a nice save. And the Petes will bring it up ice to center. Here's Beck. Drops it off. Stillman shoots, and save for Miller's first action of the night. Glanced off of him as it goes back down the ice for icing.
Well, nothing to gain for Will Rousseau in the net here. I'm supposing Patrick Waugh is saying, well, let's keep his confidence high. It's been a weird game, right, where it's been hard to read. Patrick Waugh's team isn't as consistent defensively, anything close to what Rousseau is going to be feeling in front of him. What I would assume in a final, it'll be much more structured. A bad bounce for sure, but just get him out, give him some rest, get your backup goaltender in there, and make sure everybody's safe and healthy. Still a game here, 15:41 to go, 2 goals down. It's not a must-win for Quebec at all. Peterborough Petes have come out and played desperate hockey, patient hockey, and they've got a 2-goal lead.
Need a little mask repair for the second time tonight. It's time for Quentin Miller, product of College Notre Dame, where he had Charlene Labonte as one of his goalie coaches growing up. Longtime fixture on the national team side for the women.
It's interesting. You look at that last goal. The priority number one is to protect the back door. That cross-crease pass, right? And Truchon's in the right position to keep that from happening, and it just goes off of his foot and in. Unlucky bounce. But full credit to the Petes for getting the puck to the net and some good quality chances in that shift, 3 or 4 at least.
Back to the Pete zone, Donovan McCoy. Puts it ahead, he's off the boards, and then Tucker Robertson directed into the boards by Nico Savoie. Savoie pokes it ahead to Malatesta. Cross ice, spot Scott off the boards it in. McCoy with some help from Robertson. Spreads it behind for Smith. Right around for Avon. At the point, Langlois. Past Avon. Sharp angle down at the goal line, and Simpson makes the save. Blasted out from Robertson through center.
You think about a couple of the saves that Simpson made early. That breakaway from Malatesta comes to mind, and then the follow-up shot from Robida. Those were 2 huge saves to keep the game scoreless at that time. A huge momentum shift if he doesn't make them.
Here's Zanetti now. Off the Sean Spearing. Lockhart. He's run into by Pierre-Olivier Waugh. That's going to get called. And as Charles Truchon touches it, the Petes are going to the power play.
These are tough ones here for me. Pierre-Olivier Waugh is coming in with one thing on his mind, right? Puck on the stick. I want to finish my check. And if you pay attention to the puck carrier, you turn your back. And you know what? In fairness, Lockhart was already had his back to him. So you got to pull up, right? You see the numbers, you can't go. But it's a tough one, right? When you're at full speed, Pierre-Olivier Waugh makes contact. And this is the 3rd power play for the Petes. Tough to pull out of those.
0 for 2 shots are Peterborough on the man advantage tonight. Official call is boarding to Pierre-Olivier Waugh. It'll be Gaucher versus Owen Beck in the face-off circle. Othman, Stillman, Maillet, and White all out there for the Petes. Off the glass, quick clear for Quebec. Gaucher pressuring White. Gavin White starts to head up ice. Passes off on the wing. Owen Beck turning away from Nico Savoie. Didn't get much on that pass as Stillman directs it back to the points and skipped just wide of the net. Back to center ice now. Chase Stillman goes for a bit of a skate, fires the shot. Miller fights it off. Settled by White. Center ice, crossing over the blue line. Back to Othman, stepping in on the left side, and had some daylight, just narrowly missed the net.
Right in our sight lines, buddy? And just missed by a fraction of an inch. What a release from Othman.
And we saw exactly what he saw, but could not find the far side corner is Gavin White starting ahead. Avery Hayes pushing it to the corner. Robertson stapled to the boards by Nosh. Zanetti at the line, across from McCoy. Centering feed, passed off. Robertson and a big save from Quentin Miller.
Everybody gets a piece of this action. It was an earlier shot from Othman, and watch how he misses that far post. Oh, just by a hair. Unbelievable what the Petes play on. Look at this, all 5 guys. It goes around the horn into the middle back door. And how about that from Miller coming in cold, and he looks brilliant as he's forced to push 6 feet post to post blocker save. He says, no way.
Right back at it. Nosh will clear this puck down the length of the ice. Simpson had to be careful there with Gaucher bearing down on him. Donovan McCoy starting ahead. Feeds it up on the wing for Avon. Avon backhander absorbed by Miller.
Well, what ramifications come from the result of this game. If the Petes can hold out here for 12 minutes and 27 seconds, it's going to force a tiebreaker between the loser of the game tomorrow, Seattle and Kamloops. That'll be played on Thursday, 5:30 pregame, 6 o'clock puck drop. So that's, I would assume, not the worst thing in Patrick Roy's mind, as he's going to fatigue his opponents. One of them anyway. They're going to have to go a longer route to get to the final if this game continues the way it has to this point.
And if the Petes hang on, this will add a lot of meaning to tomorrow's game between Seattle and Kamloops. As out of the box is Pierre-Olivier Roy stepping in over the line. If the Petes lose this game, tomorrow's game really doesn't mean a whole lot. It'll be Seattle and Kamloops in the semifinal no matter what, but the Petes stay alive. And then it's the loser plays in the tiebreak. Winner books their spot in the semis. Here's Savoie, passes off on the wing. Langlois centering, turning around, Bolduc, getting a kick save from Simpson. Quebec stay on the attack. Nico Savoie. Dubois off the boards, back to center ice.
That may have looked like a routine save for Simpson, but I can assure you it wasn't. He had traffic in front of him. I'm not sure he sees this. It goes to him with some velocity right on the ice, and he does a really good job kicking out the left leg to seal that one. A 2-goal game, and it stays that way because of a couple of big saves at each end.
Save the Game is brought to you by Real Canadian Superstore. Save for real at Real Canadian Superstore.
A big one for Malatesta up, and he splits the D with big speed. This is when the game's still 0-0. The last thing you want is the Quebec Remparts to have an early lead. They're so good at holding it, but Simpson comes up with a huge save on Malatesta. He followed that one up with a save on Robida as well. That was your Real Canadian Superstore save of the game.
Peterborough Petes trying to extend their lives in this tournament. We've got now with Miller between the pipes a battle of 10th round picks in this Memorial Cup. Michael Simpson for the Petes and Quentin Miller for the Remparts. Quentin Miller still a young goalie at 18 years of age, but he is ranked by NHL Central Scouting at number 11 among North American goalies ahead of this summer's NHL draft.
I love the point that you bring up and the fact that you know that the 2 10-round picks, and what a great message that is for all those kids out there, right? Where it's never over, and whether you get drafted, you don't get drafted, there's lots and lots of examples of players that get drafted very late, never drafted at all. Connor Hellebuck, the Vezina Trophy winner, was a 5th-round draft pick to the Winnipeg Jets. He's up for it for a second time. I mean, it's not where you start, it's where you end. So 2 10th-rounders, that's excellent.
OHL and Western Hockey League have both recently had their drafts as well. Quebec come in transition. Sean fires it wide. One good example of that, just ask Jared Davidson, who went undrafted into the Western Hockey League, and what a breakout year he had a year ago with the Thunderbirds. As Malatesta fires a shot, that's off of the man in front. I believe it's Dubois, rather Hoffman, as he'll skate out to center. The puck is sent in, and Zanetti plays it off the boards. And tipped in. Oh, that one right up high into the grill of Jeremy Langlois.
Oh boy, those ones don't feel good. Langlois, you could hear him. You can almost hear that puck hit him, but up on his feet quickly. It was a clearing attempt off of a stick that tips right up into his face area. Man, those are the ones where you're sitting there as Patrick Roy and the Quebec Remparts knowing there's nothing to gain in this game, and then all you want is for this not to happen. We'll listen in. That says it all, doesn't it? The pain required to play this game and to play the game the right way. Courage, bravery, fearlessness, and you keep going on after you take a puck to the face. Part of what makes our game so great.
Back through center. Knocked down. I hope to see Jeremy Langlois back on the ice here shortly as J.R. Avon hard into the end board. He was poke checked by Sevil Komarov. Back up the boards. Smith at the line. Hard drive. Kicked out by Miller. Komarov right back around. And Avon colliding with Noss. Right back across. That's the outside of the post. So Shea out through center for McCoy. Right back off the boards to Avon, and he'll dump it in. Tucker Robertson tied up with Komarov centers. There's Malee. Lost it in his feet. Didn't get the shot away. Takes another shot, and another sharp save from Quentin Miller.
He's had to make some tough ones.
He has. And he's made all of them so far. It's coming in for Will Rousseau. Now Evan Noss starts up ice with a lead feed for Bolduc. He chips it in. And back it goes for Wenner. Matthew Wenner takes the shot, drifted off the blocker of Simpson. Lockhart back through neutral territory, and Nico Savoie picks it up. Drops it back for Wenner. Wenner off to Rochette. Now Bolduc fires it high, off the end glass. And a collision. Bolduc going down to the ice as the puck trickles back for Charles Truchon. Savoie to the line, tipped in. Zanetti back. Cross ice, and Truchon passes to Jeremy Langlois. Great to see him back. And up to the line it goes. Forced in over the Peterborough line. Maillet right off the score clock at center ice. A little too high as the whistle sounds. Just over 8 to go in the third period. Pete's up by 2 and pressing for more.
Well, some family history, lots of it in this tournament. And for Peterborough, Pete's Chase Stillman, he's won himself now a OHL champion. His father, 2-time Stanley Cup champion Corey. Look at this. That goaltender look familiar to you? You betcha. That's Patrick Roy. Over 1,000 games played, 2 Stanley Cups for Corey Stillman. He's an OHL champion. He did it with these very Peterborough pizza that continues on in the family tree.
Yeah, it sure does. It's a loaded trophy cabinet, Kevin. Riley Stillman won a OHL title in 2018 with Hamilton. Of course, Corey in 93 with the Peach. And then grandfather Bud Stefanski did it a couple times. Assistant coach with the Oshawa Generals in the 90s, and then again with the Barrie Colts in the year 2000. Had a nice chat with Chase Stillman at the Memorial Center back at the OHL Championship Series, and he said that was a massive motivating factor for him to try and bring home an OHL title for the family. Everyone else has seemed to have done it.
Well, you think about the pride with Corey, just to see your son play in the major junior ranks in the CHL, but to play for the team you played for and then to win a championship for the same team you played for. It's just awesome to see. Lots of pride involved. I know he was very proud of his son, Chase.
And Chase Stillman's brother-in-law is now Sam Lafferty as well, of the Toronto Maple Leafs. So more hockey ties throughout that family.
Still think you got to brush up on your research.
That was a big assist to Chase for disseminating that information for me. Of course, his dad, Corey, now with the Arizona Coyotes as an assistant coach. But he did coach Chase when he first broke into the league with the Sudbury Wolves. Here's Langlois, lays it up the wing.
You know you're just showing off now, right?
Here's Pierre-Olivier Waugh. Going to pass it off. And off the glass, through center. And taken in by Wenner for the icing.
You think about the road to get to this very moment for these Peterborough Petes. They were a 4th seed, and they beat the 5th seed. And pardon me, they were a 5th seed. They beat the 4th seed in Sudbury, and then they go on to beat Ottawa, the 1st seed in 6 games. Oh, and then just for fun, the 2nd seed, North Bay, in 7 games, having to come back in that series. And then, of course, they went on in 6 games to beat the London Knights. So nothing they have done has been the easy way to get to this point. And the battle scars, right? The calluses that are involved to get here bond you as a group. this is a group of 20 brothers, and for them to have to say goodbye to each other today here in Kamloops is something that they do not want to have to do. They've shown up here. A 2-goal lead with 7 minutes remaining.
Here's Nico Savoie. Gain center, shoots it in off the glass. Down for Smith. Posted up in the corner. And Rochette trying to play it up the middle. Lockhart back to center ice. Langlois stops behind the net. Passes off to Rochette. Gaucher backing up past Hoffman. Rochette off the wing, and a crafty glove save is made by Michael Simpson.
He can shoot that puck, can he? Whips one to the net, but it has to go through 4 different defenders here. Peterborough doing a nice job just playing with the lead. A 2-goal lead. And watch the defensive posture. 4 guys in your screen versus 1. A shot. Simpson's going to get that one 10 times out of 10. It was going over the crossbar, I think, anyway, but a quick flash of the glove and a perimeter shot he makes go away.
Agostino to take this face off against Owen Beck. And Quebec force it back to the point. Evan Noss. Right down the boards and chopped at the side of the net as it comes right back around for Gaudette. Around we go. Zanetti looking for Hoffman. Komarov. Pass off the stick of Brennan Hoffman. Mouchette in over the line onside. Mouchette ganged up on though at center. Couldn't pull the trigger, and Peterborough content to just clear it down the ice for an icing. Pete's up 4-2. They're about 5 minutes away from keeping their Memorial Cup dreams alive.
The CHL on TSN is proudly presented by the all-new Kia Niro EV. Start your EV journey today.
More Memorial Cup action from Kamloops tomorrow. The hosts, Blazers, back on the ice, take on the Thunderbirds. All Western Hockey League matchup, 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific for the pregame show. That'll wrap up the round-robin stage of this tournament. And if this score holds and Quebec lose this game, we will move right on into single-game elimination with the tiebreaker on Thursday.
Yeah, some unfinished business there for the Kamloops Blazers as they were eliminated by Seattle in 2 consecutive years in the 3rd round. That'll be a good one.
And you know they would like to bump Seattle into that tiebreaker spot, where they would play against the Peterborough Petes. Again, assuming this lead holds for Peterborough. Still 5:13 to play. The Ramparts down by 2.
You can only hope that both teams are at their best, because that is going to be as close to a professional hockey game at the junior ranks as you are going to see. Those are 2 big teams that have a ton of skill. They can attack you. Their goaltenders are fantastic. It's going to be a good one.
Especially if Kamloops show up the way they did against the Peterborough Petes.
I mean,
start their last game.
Dominant. They needed it. They came out with a game plan. Sean Cluse and Don A had their team recharged after the first game where they didn't like their outing, but boy, oh boy, that was a stamp on this tournament so far, a 10-2 win over these Peterborough Petes. It'll be a different test, though, a different style of game against Seattle for sure.
One they're certainly familiar with, though, having gone 6 games deep with them in the playoffs and then 4 regular season meetings as well, so should be no surprises tomorrow between those 2.
Yeah, very familiar, and then built-in rivalry, right? So there's going to be it'll be a packed house. And like I said, unfinished business for Kamloops, where they've been put out of their misery, so to speak, twice 2 seasons in a row.
Face off to the glove hand side of Simpson. Gaucher wins it over. Duke directs it wide of the net. And Noss back off the wing. Flung across by Duke. Nico Savoie plays it back around the corner boards. Gaucher powers it wide. Noss now to Rochette. He shoots. That one's over top of Simpson. Hayes takes a bump into the corner. And Noss from the line. Bolduc off the Rochette. And Rochette from the corner out to Nico Savoie. Noss sent it right into the slot. Taken away by Avery Hayes. He's got the game winner as it stands right now. And here's Jonathan Malee. Winding in over the line. Dodging a hit from Evan Noss. And Nico Savoie sets up behind the net. Now Noss. Quebec complete a change. Fresh skaters on the ice. Noss for Komarov. Pushing the puck ahead, in over the line. Off the wing, Agostino directs it wide. Towards and out from Dubois. And it's center Houchette. Backhands it in. Connor Smith. Trying to play it up on the wing. Malee to center off the boards.
And the idea here for the Petes these last few minutes has been to keep this game in the mud, right? Low event, just like the way the game started in the first period. It's how you play with the lead. They'll be just fine with this being a boring ending. Just under 3 minutes remain.
Here's Connor Smith. Banked off the boards for Brian Zanetti. And taken right back away by Robidas. Cross ice for Malatesta. Back behind the net for Robidas. And to the bench goes Quentin Miller. Extra attacker is Nathan Gaucher for Quebec. Pierre-Olivier Waugh to the front of the net. No shot. Here's Waugh again. Fires a drive wide. Gaucher back to the point. Waugh across to Langlois. Back to Waugh. Lost the handle on it, and it's pushed out to center. Chance at the open net, and Lockhart bounces it wide. That's going to go for icing.
It almost feels like a controlled practice, all due respect. Right now for Patrick Waugh, he's never going to take his foot off the gas as the coach. He's just not wired that way, but you know what? It's 4-2, 2 minutes remaining. It's almost like, let's get out of here. Well, you know what? I think Rob Wilson will be the same way. Let's get out of here with our 2-goal win, and we're going to keep our season alive. They came in desperate, and they needed their big guns to show up and perform. A goal from Tucker Robertson. They needed him to be good. J.R. Avon got a goal as well. Avery Hayes found the back of the net. Just over 2 minutes remaining here in a massive game, by far the biggest of the year for the Peterborough Petes.
Iced again, so we'll go back into Pete's territory for this face-off. Petes will get a day off again tomorrow. And they might end up having to play 3 games in 4 days if they have any intentions of going all the way to the final.
They'll take it.
Here's Langlois. Sent wide by Robidas. And Langlois at the line again. Bolduc to the front of the net. And posted in front of Simpson was Gaucher. There's Langlois. Off to Bolduc. Right in on Simpson. Had to be sharp there. Made the save. And Rochette. Back to the line. Langlois off the stick of Beck. Back around the boards it comes for Bolduc. Bolduc fires a one-timer. Stick snaps. And go back to the bench to retrieve a new one. He's got it as the Petes have this puck nudged up along the end boards. And Dave Lewis blows the whistle to bring play to a halt.
We'll give full marks to Michael Simpson, who had to be sharp, because it's not an easy thing to do in the first period where you're not getting a ton of quality shots against you. All of a sudden, Malatesta, we showed you the Canadian Store save of the game, and he made 2 big quality saves earlier in that first period. And when he's been called upon, there's been traffic around him, and he's had to make some positional saves where you don't see the puck coming to you, but you have a good angle on the shooter. He's allowed the puck to hit him when needed. He's battled in traffic. I think he's been excellent. 27 shots put on him, and Some of them have not been easy, that's for sure. He generally controlled his rebounds extremely well. There's the Malatesta one. There was a Robina one that followed it up later in that same sequence. And even when things got off the rails a little bit, he just battled acrobatically. He has been a massive part of this. When we talked about the top guys having to show up, Robertson, Avon, Hughes, but Simpson, without his display early, I don't think this game's the same.
And he'll have to continue to be sharp here to bring this one home for the Peterborough Petes. Nice bounce back for him. He didn't get off to the best start in this tournament, Kevin, but he's been good tonight.
Yeah, just stopped 15 of 20 in 23 minutes against Kamloops, a night that they'd like to forget, and that's the good news. It appears that Peterborough has moved on from that. It can sneak into your psyche, into your confidence, and affect you, but a nice job from Rob Simpson and the leadership group with this Peterborough's Pete team to cut that off, move on, flush it, and they have done that. And they've minute 21 away from beating a very good Quebec Rempart team.
Face off to the blocker side of Michael Simpson. McCoy back to center, gloved down by Jeremy Langlois. Pushed forward by Bolduc to the end boards with McCoy and Spearing. Out it comes, passed over and fanned on by Malatesta. Looking for another to shrink the deficit to 1, and the puck pops over the glass and out of play.
Well, that last chance again, it's not over yet, is it, for Simpson? See all the action in front of him, right? D to D, and a nice job blocking that shot, coming out to front that from Tucker Robertson. Pardon me, Avery Hayes down on one knee, and sometimes if you're in the lane early enough, you can deter the shot from even materializing. Nice job from 29.
Here's Rochette up high to Langlois. Langlois, one-timer Bolduc, and Simpson makes the save down the ice. That's just wide of the net. And Langlois retrieves it for icing.
4 days for Quebec to go to the drawing board and make sure they've gotten all the little details taken care of before the final on Sunday. Look at that last shot again. More of the same. Simpson having to deal with bodies in front of him. You don't always see it. Wow, just missed that for the empty netter. Positional saves from Simpson has been a bit of a theme.
Back into the corner. Wow, off to Rochette. Bolduc, pass picked off. Back to center, skating in hard on Langlois. They both go down. That pushes it ahead. Just about 20 seconds to go for James Malatesta. Runs into his man Robertson. Spearing out to center. Well, the Peterborough Petes needed a win to keep their season alive. 4-2, and the pesky Petes have forced a tiebreak on Thursday.
Backs up against the wall, up against a real good team in Quebec. It was an extremely slow start. Both teams extremely cautious, playing to their identity. The second period broke open for 5 goals. The Petes added their 4th. For a 2-goal win here in a must-win situation for the Peterborough Petes. 4 days off for the Quebec Remparts. They're going to the final. The Peterborough Petes have extended their Memorial Cup lives.
And for the first time since 2015, when Quebec played Rimouski, we're going to have a tiebreaker. It's been 5 tournaments between the two. Lengthy streak. And we will find out which opponent will await the Petes on Thursday. We'll find out tomorrow with what turns out now to be a very important game between Seattle and Kamloops.
Isn't it amazing how things swing, right? Where it's a nothing game for Quebec. If Quebec wins this one, tomorrow night's game doesn't mean anything. And now it's a big one between Kamloops and Seattle. The loser of that, like you mentioned, will go on Thursday to play this Peterborough Petes team to earn the right to advance to the semifinal, which will be played on Friday.
And now Quebec will kick their feet up and watch everything play out. With 1 game left in round robin.
somehow kick your feet up doesn't seem maybe the right way to describe a Patrick Waugh team.
No,
right?
that's fair enough.
But I know what you mean. But he's a guy that works, him and his staff. Patrick Waugh talked about how they go to work, they do all of their own research, they pre-scout the other teams, and they'll be on the ice. They'll try to mimic gameplay and be ready for Sunday.
And joining us to present the award is Danielle Sumi, the president at Grador. Tonight's player of the game from the Peterborough Petes, number 22, Tucker Robertson.
It's worked out pretty well here for you, Kevin. You said Tucker Robertson needed to be better tonight for the Petes. He was. He's the player of the game, and the Petes stay alive.
Yeah, you know what? He was noticeable, but that's, to me, one of the engines, right, where he just plays a feisty game, fights to get to the inside. Of course, he comes up with a big goal. Very noticeable, along with many others in the core of that team. They needed to be good. They were. They got the win they needed.
One more look here at the standings, as we've got one more game to go in the round-robin stage of this tournament. It'll be between those two middle teams. We're back here again at Sandman Center tomorrow. Kamloops versus Seattle to wrap up the round-robin. See you then.
Come heavy or don't come at all. You leave your piece at home, that's your call. It never paid to be merciful. Come heavy or don't come at all.